Drink water on time, a simple habit for a healthier life. Ever wonder why your energy crashes before the day ends? The secret might not be more sleep, but more water, at the right time. If you're waiting to feel thirsty before you drink, you're already too late. Your body sent the signal long ago, you just weren't listening. What if I told you that drinking water before you feel thirsty could change your mood, your focus, even your future? Water. The most ordinary thing in your day. Clear, quiet, often overlooked. Yet within it lies the key to your focus, your energy, your health, and yes, even your future. We hear it all the time, drink more water. But no one ever tells you when to drink it. And here's the truth that most people miss. Timing is everything. You don't wait until your car runs out of oil to top it up. You don't wait until your phone is dead to plug it in. So why do we wait until our bodies scream for water, until we're parched, sluggish, dizzy, to finally take a sip? This isn't just about hydration. This is about awareness. It's about building a habit so small, so silent, yet so powerful, it becomes the foundation for a better life. This video isn't just going to tell you why water matters. It's going to change the way you think about it. It's going to rewire how you treat your body. And it's going to push you, not just to drink, but to drink on time. With intention. With purpose. So let's begin. Water. It's everywhere, and yet, most of us ignore it until we can't anymore. You feel a little dizzy. A bit tired. Your focus is off. So you grab a cup. You gulp it down. You feel better, for a moment. But by then, it's already too late. Because by the time your body asks for water, it's already in deficit. Thirst isn't the beginning of dehydration, it's the final alarm. Most people think thirst is the signal to drink. But the truth is, thirst is your body telling you it's already struggling. And in that struggle, you lose something more precious than moisture, you lose momentum. Think about your days. Those moments where your energy drops for no reason. Where your mind gets cloudy. Where your mood dips and you can't explain why. You might think it's stress. Maybe lack of sleep. Poor diet. But what if it's something far simpler? What if it's water? Not just how much, but when. See, hydration isn't just about drinking 8 glasses a day. It's about when those glasses happen. It's about making water a rhythm, not a rescue. You wouldn't wait until your phone shuts off to charge it. You wouldn't wait until your engine fails to refill the oil. And yet, we wait. We ignore. We push through the symptoms, telling ourselves we're just tired or hungry, when really, we're just dry. Let's go back to the basics. Your body is made of about 60% water. Your brain, over 70%. Your blood, 90%. Water isn't just part of you. It is you. And every single function, from digestion to thinking to moving, relies on hydration. Yet most of us don't treat it with the importance it deserves. We drink coffee, soda, energy drinks. But water? We treat it like an afterthought, like something we might get to, eventually. But eventually is too late. The people who thrive, not just survive, understand this. They don't wait until they're thirsty to drink. They plan their hydration. They drink when they wake up. They drink before their meals. They drink before they speak, before they think, before they even realize they need it. It's not about obsession. It's about respect, for the vessel that carries you through life. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you drank water without being told to? When was the last time you started your day with hydration instead of stimulation? How often do you go hours, without a single sip? And how do you expect your body to function like a machine if you never give it fuel? Look, this isn't about guilt. It's about awakening. Because when you start drinking water on time, things change. Your skin clears. Your mind sharpens. Your energy levels stabilize. Your mood evens out. You sleep better. You feel better. And the best part? It's simple. It doesn't require a gym membership. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take time out of your day. All it takes is a decision. A commitment. A bottle beside you. A reminder on your phone. A shift in your thinking. You want to become more focused? Start with water. Want better digestion? Start with water. Want to stop crashing every afternoon? Start with water. But here's the key. Don't wait. Don't wait for the headache. Don't wait for the brain fog. Don't wait for the dry lips and sluggish thoughts. Drink before that. Drink when you're clear-headed. Drink when you're busy. Drink when everything feels fine, because that's how you keep it fine. Hydration is like sunlight. You don't notice how much it matters, until it's gone. This simple act, this habit of drinking water on time, isn't just good advice. It's the foundation for every other good habit. Because a well-hydrated body thinks clearer, moves smoother, rests deeper. And that kind of body wins. So today, I'm not asking you to change your life overnight. I'm asking you to change your next hour. To pick up a glass, before you need it. To set a timer, before you forget. To give your body what it needs, before it begs for it. Because when you drink water on time, you send a message to yourself. I care. I'm paying attention. I'm not just surviving, I'm choosing to thrive. Let's get one thing straight. Your body is not the enemy. It's not lazy. It's not broken. It's not failing you. It's speaking to you, all the time. But you have to learn how to listen. Every time your eyelids feel heavy mid-morning. Every time your thoughts drift away in the middle of a task. Every time your stomach growls when you just ate an hour ago. That's not always exhaustion. It's not always hunger. Sometimes, it's just dehydration. But because we've been trained to ignore the subtle signals. We wait for the loud ones. We wait for the headache. We wait for the fatigue. We wait for the cracking lips or dizzy spells before we act. And by then, we're not performing at our best, we're recovering. You deserve better than that. You deserve to operate at your peak. To think clearly. To feel strong. To walk into every room with presence and energy. But here's what no one tells you. Greatness is not built in grand moments. It's built in small choices. Quiet commitments. Invisible decisions. The glass of water you drink before your meeting. The bottle you keep beside your bed. The sips you take in between tasks, not out of desperation, but out of discipline. That's where success begins. You think top performers just rely on willpower? No. They build systems. They honor rhythms. They learn the needs of their bodies like a craftsman learns his tools. And one of those needs, one of the most foundational ones, is hydration. But here's the truth that hits hardest. You can't show up fully for your dreams if you're constantly running on empty. Imagine trying to climb a mountain without fuel. Running a race with dry lungs and a dizzy head. Building a business or a vision while your brain is trying just to stay awake. That's what dehydration does. It steals from your potential in ways you can't always see. It dulls your edge. It slows your spark. It dims the fire you were meant to carry. But here's the good news. Water brings it back. Water is clarity. Water is motion. Water is resilience. Start your day with it, and your body begins in flow. End your day with it, and your sleep deepens. Use it throughout your day, and your mind stays sharp, your energy stable, your performance higher. It sounds too simple, doesn't it? Like just drinking water couldn't possibly make that big of a difference. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you felt truly clear? Not jittery from caffeine. Not wired from sugar. But calm. Focused. Present. That's what hydration gives you. Not a spike, but a steady state. Not chaos, but calm power. You don't need more hacks. You don't need more stimulation. You need rhythm. You need consistency. You need to stop waiting until you're empty to fill up. Hydration is not a reactive practice, it's a proactive one. And once you shift your mindset, everything changes. Here's where you start. Drink water first thing in the morning, before the phone, before the coffee, before the rush. Drink a glass before every meal, not after you eat, but before. It sets your digestion up for success. Keep a bottle within arm's reach throughout the day. Visibility leads to action. Use reminders if you need to. Not forever, just until it becomes automatic. Drink before you're tired. Before you're hungry. Before your body begs. It's not about flooding yourself. It's about fueling yourself, on time, every time. This is the mindset of a high performer. Not someone who waits for life to demand more. But someone who prepares before the demand comes. That's how champions think. That's how leaders act. That's how you begin building not just habits, but identity. You're not just someone who drinks more water. You're someone who shows up. Who listens. Who acts early. Who respects the vessel carrying the vision. And trust me, your body responds. It rewards you with better mood. Better clarity. Better recovery. It thanks you in the language of energy, resilience, vitality. But more than anything, hydration sends a message to your inner self. I'm worth the effort. I honor my journey. I'm preparing for greatness. Because greatness doesn't begin when you get the promotion, or hit the goal, or stand on stage. It begins here. Now. With this small choice. With this quiet sip. Let's talk about something deeper. Because this isn't just about hydration. It's about honoring your potential. You don't drink water on time because it's trendy. You do it because every time you do, you are telling your mind, your spirit, and your future. I am awake. I am ready. I am not here to coast, I'm here to rise. It's so easy to ignore your body in today's world. To treat yourself like a machine that just keeps running. But even machines need care. Even engines need oil. Even the sharpest minds need clarity, and water is one of the purest sources of that clarity. Here's something no one ever says out loud. Most people live their lives slightly dehydrated. Not dangerously. Just enough to feel dull. Just enough to feel like they're always pushing through fog. Just enough to get used to feeling less than alive. And when that becomes normal, we stop realizing what we've lost. But not you. Not anymore. Because you're choosing to wake up. To stop waiting for symptoms. To stop living reactive. And instead, start living proactive. Here's a truth you might not expect. When you drink water before you're thirsty, you're building self-trust. You're practicing awareness. You're saying to yourself, I don't ignore your whispers, I act before you have to scream. And that changes everything. Because self-trust isn't built in big, dramatic moments. It's built in the quiet hours. In the morning glass you didn't skip. In the meeting where you reached for your bottle. In the moments when no one else would notice, but you would. The strongest people in the world aren't always the loudest. They're not always the most visible. Sometimes, they're just the ones who consistently make decisions that support their strength. And hydration is one of the most underrated of those decisions. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it intentionally. And over time, your body begins to change. You think clearer. You wake up faster. Your skin glows, your digestion improves, your joints move smoother, and your energy doesn't crash, it carries. Because now your internal systems are supported. Now your blood flows better. Now your brain functions without friction. Now your heart beats in rhythm with how you're living. It's not magic. It's science. And more than that, it's respect. Look around you. Most people are tired. Not because they're lazy. But because they've lost touch with the simple foundations. And water? Water is as foundational as it gets. Start with one habit. One shift. One bottle you refill. One decision to drink when you can, not just when you have to. Then build. Build until it's part of your identity. Until people see you with water and say, of course he does, he takes care of himself. Not for the image. Not for the praise. But because it reflects who you are becoming. You are becoming someone who shows up early. Who moves with purpose. Who doesn't wait for things to fall apart before taking action. Who doesn't wait for collapse before healing. Who doesn't wait for thirst before drinking. Let me remind you again. You are not weak for needing water. You are wise for choosing to respond before it becomes urgent. So the next time you feel that hesitation. I'm busy. I'll drink later. I'm not really thirsty yet. Interrupt it. Tell yourself. This sip is not a delay. It's a declaration. I choose clarity. I choose life. Because drinking water on time isn't just a health move. It's a mindset shift. It's saying, I will not be reactive. I will not wait until I'm in trouble. I will lead myself. That's what leaders do. That's what visionaries do. That's what high performers do. And you? You're one of them. Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning, and instead of reaching for your phone, you reach for a glass of water. Not because someone told you to, but because you decided, this is who you are now. You're not just reacting to thirst. You're taking ownership. You're leading your body, not chasing after it. And that's a powerful thing, to lead yourself. Because most people don't. Most people wait. They wait until the headache hits. Until their mouth feels like sand. Until the fatigue becomes unbearable. And then, they act. But by then, you've already lost valuable time. You've already spent hours underperforming. You've already robbed yourself of clarity and calm. And the worst part? You get used to it. You adapt to the discomfort. You normalize the fog. You accept the low energy as just life. But that's not life. That's survival. And you were made for more than that. You were made to thrive. To be sharp. Alive. Engaged. To have clarity in your thoughts and energy in your steps. To live like you mean it. And it starts with the smallest choices. The sip before the speech. The glass before the workday. The bottle beside you during the hard hours. You might think it's too small to matter. That it's not worth the effort. But remember. It's not the size of the habit, it's the direction it leads you. That one glass of water is proof. You're no longer waiting. You're showing up. And when you build a life filled with these moments of timely action, of self-respect, of honoring your needs, you build momentum. You stop feeling behind. You stop chasing balance. You become balance. Because the truth is, water doesn't just hydrate your body, it hydrates your discipline. Every sip is a seed. Every bottle is a vote. Every time you drink before you're desperate, you reinforce the belief. I am someone who cares. I am someone who leads. I am someone who prepares. And here's the deeper truth. This isn't just about your body. This is about every area of your life. Because the person who drinks water on time is the same person who shows up early. Who doesn't skip reps. Who calls back when they said they would. Who delivers even when no one's watching. This isn't about hydration. It's about identity. And identity is built through action, repeated, intentional, purposeful action. So if you want to change your life, don't wait for the big leap. Start with this small sip. Make water a ritual. Not a chore. Not a to-do list item. A sacred act. A moment of alignment. Look at it this way. That sip in the morning? It says, today, I start clear. That sip in the afternoon? It says, I choose to stay steady. That sip at night? It says, I end with care. You are literally shaping your nervous system every time you drink water intentionally. You're telling your brain, we are safe. We are calm. We are clear. And your brain responds in kind, with focus, with clarity, with peace. This is not theory. This is your biology working for you, if you give it what it needs. And all it takes is a decision. Not a perfect schedule. Not a complicated system. Just a decision. That today, you will start drinking water on time. Before the crash. Before the craving. Before the chaos. Because that's what leaders do. That's what builders do. That's what you do. Let's take this even further. Because the ripple effect of this small habit? It's bigger than you think. Start drinking water on time, and suddenly, other things begin to shift. You stop hitting snooze as often. You stop craving sugar mid-morning. You stop snapping in conversations when stress rises. Why? Because you're not running on empty anymore. You've created a baseline. A physical foundation that holds your emotional and mental world steady. And that foundation starts with hydration. It's not that life gets easier. It's that you get more equipped to handle it. You're no longer in survival mode. You're no longer compensating for lack. You're operating from abundance, because you gave your body what it needed before it screamed for it. This creates a shift not only in how you feel, but in how you show up. At work, you're sharper. In relationships, you're more present. In your goals, you're more consistent. Why? Because hydration clears the fog. And when the fog clears, you remember what matters. You remember your vision. You reconnect to your energy. You realign with your potential. That's the power of doing something as simple as drinking water on time. It centers you. It grounds you. It prepares you. And in a world that constantly pulls you in 1,000 directions, you need that center. You need that rhythm. You need a daily, quiet moment that says, come back to yourself. Because if you don't, you'll drift. Drift into overwork. Into burnout. Into confusion. Into thinking you need more coffee, more supplements, more stimulation, when what you actually need is the simplest thing of all. Water. On time. It's your anchor. Think about it. So much of the stress we feel is magnified by physical neglect. We push through exhaustion. We override hunger. We numb discomfort. And in the process, we disconnect from our own bodies. But hydration brings you back. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it's powerful. It's a quiet yes to yourself. A promise that says, I'm not ignoring you today. A reminder that you are not a machine, you are a living, breathing, powerful being. And when you honor your body honors you back. It supports you through long days. It carries you through hard moments. It rewards you with presence, clarity, and energy. But the catch is this. You must be consistent. Not perfect, consistent. Because it's not the one bottle that changes everything. It's the 100 small sips. The daily rhythm. The moment-to-moment choices. That's where transformation lives. So start where you are. Not where you wish you were. Not where someone else is. Right here. Start with one reminder. One refill. One small act of self-respect. That's enough. And tomorrow? Do it again. Because you're not just drinking water, you're building the kind of person who shows up for themselves. And that kind of person? They don't need external motivation to take care of themselves. They don't need a crisis to shift course. They don't need a breakdown to wake up. They listen early. They act early. They win early. That's you now. You see, this is bigger than water. It's about identity. Because how you do anything, is how you do everything. And when you commit to something as simple as staying hydrated, on time, you are training your mind for excellence. Not dramatic excellence. Not Instagram excellence. Quiet excellence. You are rewiring yourself to act without being told. To move before being forced. To stay ready, rather than scramble to catch up. And in today's world, that makes you rare. Because most people are just reacting. Waiting until something breaks. Waiting until the pressure mounts. Waiting until life forces their hand. But not you. Because you've learned something powerful. Success doesn't begin when things go wrong. It begins when you choose to do right, before anything demands it. Think about the person you want to become. That version of you who is calm under pressure. Energized, focused, healthy, consistent. The version of you who keeps promises to yourself. Do you think that person waits until they're thirsty? No. They prepare. They anticipate. They align. That's not wishful thinking. That's discipline in motion. And it starts with something so deceptively simple, most people miss it entirely. Water. Not gallons. Not extremes. Just timely hydration. When you wake up. Before you eat. Before you speak. Before you feel the crash. And over time, something incredible begins to happen. You start trusting yourself. Because the act of drinking water on time is really the act of listening. Of tuning in. Of noticing your body's cues, before they become problems. You start responding to your needs, not ignoring them. You start treating your body like an ally, not a burden. You start building the kind of life that supports your growth, not stifles it. That's not just hydration. That's transformation. And guess what? Others will notice. They may not say anything at first. But they'll see the difference. In your energy. In your skin. In your focus. In the way you carry yourself. They'll see that something's changed. And when they ask you what you've been doing, you'll smile. Because the truth is beautifully simple. I started drinking water. Before I was thirsty. They might laugh. They might not understand. That's okay. Because you're not doing this for applause. You're doing it for alignment. You're doing it because you finally realized that small, consistent action beats big, inconsistent effort. You're doing it because you're tired of waiting for the crash before you take care of yourself. You're doing it because your future deserves better than a dehydrated version of you. So this is your reminder. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Don't wait until you're tired. Don't wait until you're depleted. Drink water. On time. With purpose. With pride. Because greatness doesn't need a spotlight. It just needs you, to keep your promise. Let's pause for a moment. And reflect. Not just on the physical effects, clearer skin, sharper focus, smoother digestion. Let's talk about the emotional weight of always being behind. Of always feeling like you're catching up with yourself. You wake up late. Skip breakfast. Forget to drink water until your throat is dry. And by 10 a.m., you're already exhausted, and you don't know why. Sound familiar? It's not just your schedule. It's the friction you carry in your system. Because a dehydrated body creates stress. Not just physical, but mental. Emotional. You snap quicker. You spiral faster. You feel overwhelmed by things you'd usually manage with ease. And when that becomes your norm, it's easy to mistake that weight for who you are. But hear me now. You are not your fog. You are not your fatigue. You are not your stress response. You are simply underfueled. Undersupported. Underhydrated. And the fix? It's not complicated. It's in the first sip of the day. It's in the gentle habit you build between meals. It's in reaching for a bottle instead of another distraction. Water doesn't just hydrate, it grounds you. It brings you back to your body. Back to your breath. Back to the moment. Because dehydration doesn't just dry your throat, it clogs your clarity. It steals your patience. It floods your nervous system with resistance. But every time you choose to drink, on time, you choose to clear that resistance. You say, I will not carry what I don't have to. I will not make life harder than it already is. I will lighten my load. And that's a powerful thing. Because let's face it, life is heavy enough. Work. Relationships. Finances. Pressure. You can't always control those storms. But you can control how prepared you are to meet them. And one of the simplest, most powerful ways to prepare? Hydration. It costs you nothing. Takes almost no time. And yet, it changes everything. Think about athletes. They don't just drink during the game. They hydrate before the game. Because by the time you feel the hit, it's too late to build your base. Same with your life. Your family depends on you. Your work depends on you. You depend on you. So why not take every advantage you can? Why not give yourself the best chance to show up steady? Strong? Centered? That doesn't require magic. It just requires water. And intention. And the humility to say, I will care for myself now, so I don't fall apart later. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. And you? You're practicing it right now. With every sip. With every reminder. With every bottle filled and refilled, not because you're desperate, but because you're ready. This is how confidence is built. Not from being perfect. But from following through on the small things. The invisible things. The things no one will clap for, but that shape everything. So keep going. Stay with this. You're not just drinking water. You're changing who you are becoming. There's a quiet strength in taking care of yourself when no one is watching. No crowd. No applause. Just you, showing up again. Filling that glass. Sipping before you need to. Not because someone told you to, but because you decided to. That's what self-leadership looks like. And it always starts in silence. There are no dramatic scenes in the daily decision to stay hydrated. No one films your 7 a.m. glass of water. No one celebrates the moment you stop scrolling and take a sip instead. But you know. You know it's not just a drink. It's a reset. A promise. A pattern being built, one drop at a time. And over time, those drops become momentum. You move through the day with more ease. More focus. More stability. You're not chasing energy, you're creating it. You're not begging your body to catch up, you're moving in sync. And that feeling? That alignment? It changes everything. Because suddenly, your mornings feel smoother. Your afternoon crashes don't hit as hard, or don't hit at all. Your workouts feel cleaner. Your decisions feel sharper. That's not random. That's rhythm. That's hydration doing its quiet, holy work inside you. And what's amazing is this. It was always available. You just hadn't been taught to see it. Because culture tells you to reach for stimulants. To mask the symptoms. To push harder when you're already drained. But wisdom? Wisdom says, refill the well before it runs dry. And that's what this is. Every time you choose to hydrate on time, you're refilling your well. So when life gets heavy, and it will, you're not brittle. You're bendable. Resilient. Able to carry what's yours without collapsing. Because you didn't ignore the basics. You didn't glamorize burnout. You didn't wear dehydration like a badge of honor. You chose care. You chose timing. You chose yourself. And here's something else to remember. Hydration isn't just about the physical. It impacts your mindset. A dry brain can't think deeply. A dry brain forgets the plan. A dry brain defaults to survival. But a hydrated brain? That's a calm brain. A responsive brain. A brain that can pause before reacting. That can focus before spiraling. That can stay grounded when life starts to spin. So the next time you're feeling scattered, before you self-diagnose, before you spiral, before you criticize yourself, ask, have I had water recently? It's not always the answer. But it's often the first step back to balance. Because your body is not trying to sabotage you. It's trying to speak to you. And the more often you respond on time, the less chaos you'll feel. The more trust you'll build. And the more clearly you'll be able to hear your own wisdom. Let's break something wide open. Most people don't fail because they lack goals. They fail because they lack fuel. You can have the biggest dream, the clearest vision, the most detailed plan. But if your body is dehydrated, your brain is foggy, and your energy is unstable, you won't execute. Not consistently. Not effectively. Not sustainably. Because purpose requires power. And that power begins with the simplest of things, water, given on time. This is why hydration isn't just a wellness practice, it's a productivity tool. Every sip builds your ability to focus. To remember. To decide quickly, but wisely. To respond with poise, not panic. And here's the truth. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to support the life you already have, better. Smarter. Simpler. That meeting you keep zoning out in. Hydrate before it starts. That workout you struggle to finish. Start with water, not just pre-workout formulas. That decision you keep putting off because your mind feels cloudy. Try a tall glass of water before you dive in. It may sound overly simple. But the most powerful habits usually are. The difference between someone barely getting through the day and someone owning the day? It's rarely a dramatic talent gap. It's usually a preparation gap. An energy gap. A consistency gap. And hydration bridges that gap. Quietly. Powerfully. Without the need for a single word. Because when your body is nourished, your mind follows. And when your mind is clear, your decisions improve. And when your decisions improve, your life expands. It's all connected. That's why this matters more than you think. That's why it's worth repeating every day. That's why we're not just sipping, we're building something. We're building a habit that supports every other habit. A rhythm that stabilizes every other system. A foundation strong enough to carry your future. So yes, drink your water. But don't just drink it. Respect it. Prepare it. Make it part of your identity. Not because you're afraid of dehydration. But because you're done operating below your potential. Because you're ready to sharpen your edge. To clear your vision. To return to your natural rhythm, not the chaos the world has normalized. And all of it starts with this choice. To drink on time. Not late. Not when it's convenient. But on time, because you are worth that kind of care. Let's talk legacy. Not the big, dramatic kind. Not the kind carved in marble or echoed through crowds. but the quiet kind, the one you live every day. Because the truth is, your legacy isn't built someday. It's built today. In how you treat yourself when no one's watching. In how you show up, not just when it's convenient, but when it's hard. In how you respond to your own needs, even when the world says keep going. And water, on time, is one of those needs. So simple, it's easy to overlook. So essential, it's dangerous to ignore. You see, discipline isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's just the quiet decision to take a sip before you crash. To refill before you're empty. To act like your health matters, because it does. When you drink water on time, you're not just honoring your body. You're creating a pattern of respect. A culture within yourself that says, I don't need pain to change. I don't need crisis to pay attention. I don't need permission to take care of me. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. This isn't overthinking, it's overpreparing. And in a world that glorifies burnout and breakdown, that makes you dangerous, in the best way possible. Because you're no longer held hostage by exhaustion. You're no longer running behind, begging your body to keep up. You're ahead of it. With it. Listening to it. Honoring it. That's what elite living looks like. Not expensive. Not extreme. Just present. Just consistent. Just intentional. So what happens when this becomes your norm? Your energy rises. Your decision-making sharpens. Your stress decreases. Your recovery improves. Your life starts to feel smoother. And that smoothness? It makes space. Space for deeper thoughts. Space for more creativity. Space for stronger relationships. Space to breathe, to dream, to build. Because you're no longer running on fumes. You're flowing from fullness. And that? That changes how you work. That changes how you lead. That changes how you love. You show up whole. You show up steady. You show up as someone others can rely on, not because you push through burnout, but because you prevent it. So from now on, let this be your rule. Don't let your body beg. Don't let your mind spiral. Don't let your spirit fade before you refuel. Drink water. Not as a task. But as a ritual. Not just when it's convenient. But when it's needed most, before the need even appears. Here's a deeper truth. Most breakthroughs don't come from doing something huge. They come from doing something small, consistently. That's why hydration matters. Not because it's flashy. But because it's foundational. It sets the tone for your discipline. It anchors your self-awareness. It reminds you that greatness doesn't begin when the spotlight hits. It begins in the quiet moment, when you choose to care for yourself without needing a reason. There's power in that kind of choice. Because here's what most people don't realize. Every time you ignore your body, you chip away at self-trust. But every time you listen, before the pain, before the panic, before the problem, you build trust. You strengthen that inner voice that says, I've got you. I'm listening. You matter. And when that voice becomes louder than your excuses, your life begins to change. Water isn't just hydration. It's alignment. It's you saying, I'm not running from stress, I'm preparing for it. I'm not waiting for collapse, I'm investing in strength. I'm not chasing balance, I'm building it. This matters more than you know. Because the way you treat your body directly affects how you show up in every room. how you lead, how you love, how you think, how you dream. And when your body feels safe, when it's supported, nourished, hydrated, your mind opens. Your heart softens. Your confidence grows. You stop second-guessing. You stop snapping. You stop shrinking. You begin owning your space. Calmly. Clearly. Powerfully. That's what on-time hydration creates, a version of you that's not waiting to feel better, but choosing to feel better. Every day. Every moment. Every sip. So if you've ever wondered where to start, start here. With one glass. Right now. Not because you're thirsty, but because you're ready. Ready to show yourself what happens when you care, before it's convenient. When you invest, before it's obvious. When you follow through, before the pressure builds. That's how trust is earned. That's how discipline is built. That's how legacies are written, in habits no one applauds but everyone feels. So drink up. Not to fix something, but to fuel something. To nourish the foundation that holds everything else. Your clarity. Your creativity. Your calm. Your calling. So here you are. 12,000 words later. Still reading. Still present. Still showing up. And that alone? That's proof you're ready for more. Not more noise. Not more pressure. But more alignment. More clarity. More strength that begins from within. And what started with something as simple as water? It's no longer just about hydration. It's a metaphor. It's a message. It's a mindset. Because when you stop waiting for symptoms, you stop living like a victim of your own life. You start leading it. You stop acting like everything's an emergency. And you start treating your well-being like a priority, not a project. Drinking water on time teaches you that you don't need to be in pain to grow. You don't need to hit bottom to rise. You don't need to suffer to earn rest, to earn care, to earn nourishment. You just need to choose. Choose to notice. Choose to respond. Choose to act, before you're forced to. Because that's what self-respect looks like. It's not waiting until you're burned out to rest. It's not waiting until you're heartbroken to reflect. It's not waiting until you're dry, physically, emotionally, spiritually, before you pour back in. And if this message has taught you anything, let it be this. Green Circle: the strongest people don't wait to feel thirsty. They hydrate in advance. Green Circle: the most disciplined people don't wait to feel broken. They invest in their strength, daily. Green Circle: the most fulfilled people don't chase happiness. They create space for it, starting with care. And today, that care is one simple glass of water. Not because you're lacking, but because you're listening. Because you're in tune. Because you're done reacting, and ready to lead. So wherever you go from here, remember this. Let water be your reminder. Your anchor. Your act of rebellion against burnout culture. Your return to presence. Your declaration that you are not too busy to take care of yourself. Let every sip be a reminder of your power. Let every refill be an act of self-leadership. Let every glass be a message to your body. I hear you. I've got you. We rise together. If this message stirred something in you, don't let it stop at you. Share this video with someone who's been running on empty. Someone who forgets to care for themselves. Someone who's been waiting for permission to pause, to reset, to drink. Like this video if it reminded you of something you already knew deep down. Save it for the moments when you forget again, because you will. We all do. Subscribe if you want more truth, more clarity, more practical habits that build a stronger you. And most of all, drink water. Not just when you're thirsty. Drink it on time, because your life deserves that kind of rhythm. And so do you. Stay clear. Stay grounded. And walk forward with power. You're not just surviving anymore. You're leading. And it started with one sip.